too nerdy. This is too 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I see levels. I see some levels.
All right, hold on. We're gonna have to edit the YouTube stream.
This is button, one button. Because top button is just, hello, would you like to talk about video games? And this is like, hello, would you like to talk about video games?
You're like, yep, we got it, baby. All right,
Got him.
now, but again, I have to get back up.
It's just such hard work being a podcaster.
Okay, so you'll see the levels there. All right, I'm
I see
in.
levels.
Well, glad you game pod. We've been recording for 5 minutes actually, so I did turn up. I wasn't saying when I was saying the goofy shit, it wasn't recording. But then I was like, oh, I probably should start recording it. And then I did. Then it was just like we couldn't figure out the fucking audio. So we probably it's like 4 minutes in already.
Yeah.
So I'll probably cut all that. If you're on Twitch or YouTube, you're probably not. You're probably just gonna have to wait. We're gonna definitely have to trim the YouTube one down so they don't. It's not like they wait like 5 minutes to hear.
No, yeah. Sure, I usually do
Anyways,
anyway.
welcome to Grad Game Pod. Let's
You're
stop holding it up. It's a hot one here. We got another 90-degree day in Philly. Like it, love it. One more of it. Actually, you know what? I can do like 70, 78, 80. So 90 is like pretty fucking hot.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like not fun to be outside.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of stuff this week. Quick Resident Evil update. I did start a new game plus. I think I'm gonna do it again on standard mode just to kind of like unlock everything.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna do one on like Village of Shadows, but with like infinite ammo on like all the other the Magnum gun and stuff, so I can just fuck people up and get all like the special things. I think I'm gonna like I think I'm gonna platinum the game. Is like I was going back and forth on it, but it's so interesting. I think I have to. I almost started speedrunning it, and I was like, no. But I wonder if you can actually speedrun on casual mode, which is like super easy. And it's like, it doesn't. I don't think the speedrun requires a minimum difficulty, because if it doesn't, it's like that would be pretty fucking easy. Like, but all the boss fights, I'm pretty sure I can win in this one. You have to beat them all in like under 4 minutes. And I was pretty close the first run through when I didn't even know that existed. I was like, a couple of them, I was like 420 or 421.
What is that?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, fuck, if I would have known I could 20 seconds faster. It's like, but now I have more powerful guns going into those fights anyway. So it's like, I'm pretty confident I'll fuck some shit up on that. So that's looking good. I don't know why I clapped. I was just kind of getting I'm just doing myself. I was excited, doing good. Got some interesting stuff. So let's talk about, we'll do this because I don't want to forget it. Life of P. So it's a Souls-like game. So like Dark Souls, Demon Souls. Gonna be hard as fuck. Showed Chase the trailer. You know, he thought it was interesting, but also like stuff like that doesn't really get me excited. Oh, you have a son with a metal arm, like whatever. He's the fucking Winter Soldier. Like, so they actually. I just thought it was obvious what it was, but it was clear that Sage didn't know anything about this. So Life of P. If you didn't know who the main character was, it's Geppetto, and P is Pinocchio, and the kid he makes at the end of the trailer is Pinocchio. So it's Lies. I think I've been saying Life. I keep saying Life of P. It's Lies of P. Yeah. So you're Geppetto.
I mean, I almost wrote it. I wrote Pi, and then I was like,
I think it's because of Life of Pi. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so the main guy in the trailer is Geppetto, like the guy which I'm pretty sure. I think it's Geppetto. Or no.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like the father of Pinocchio, and in the trailer he builds Pinocchio, and at the end that's Pinocchio, and the Lies of P is Lies of the Pinocchio. And when you're like, oh, what's that? I was like, that's why it's exciting.
I don't know if it makes me more.
It's like a Souls-like Pinocchio game. It's more of like the option of it, because if you think of Pinocchio, you probably think of Disney's Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Which I think Pinocchio is like, it's like one of those things that's so fucking old, like it's public.
Yeah, public
domain. So that's why they can make this game, because it's sure shit Disney's not. It's clearly like a hard R. I mean, you get that from like the trailer.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be Souls-like, so it's gonna be like a Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and where you're like going through this like Lovecraftian village as Pinocchio or potentially Geppetto. They haven't I don't know who you play as. To me that just sounds really fascinating, because it's like, okay, it's a new take, a very violent take on really the only thing I know of is the fucking nice Disney thing. Like I feel like that's most people, or that was a story. But
Yeah.
like,
And it sounds like they're reaching, but who knows? So
yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued about it because you could fuck with. I mean, isn't like Jiminy Cricket in that, and like, is he gonna be like a fucked up boss that you have to fight?
Or just like your little companion that's like Navi buzzing around, like you shouldn't kill people.
Oh
And
yeah,
then you
like
just murder
is
who you
Tinkerbell from there too?
No, Tinkerbell's Peter Pan.
Oh, okay, but didn't he have like a flying thing? Is that what you're talking?
I mean, he had the grasshopper.
Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Cricket.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I mean,
the last name.
technically, I guess they can fly a bit, but I don't.
I thought there was another, but either way, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the trailer itself feel like they got the Souls feel like immediately.
Yeah.
And you got like the Lovecraftian. You're like, all right, and I don't know. I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I
where
want
he's like
more-
harvesting parts from some robot that's fallen.
Right. He's like building. It's almost like oh fuck, Battle Angel Amrita or whatever.
Alita.
Yeah. I got some of those vibes because that's kind of like the same thing.
That's what I was kind of getting more from that. Yeah.
Right, and it's like because especially the metal arm and stuff. But that also is kind of a Pinocchio tale as well, if you think about it. So the one thing I thought I was gonna see in the trailer, which isn't, is I was like, when are we gonna get the nose growth? I mean, I think the number one thing you think of Pinocchio is when he lies. That's the thing. Lies of P is when he lies, the nose grows. So what's the lies of P is the name. So what happens when he lies? Like, is it really? Are they gonna just like make it so you can't go through doors? You just start smacking your nose around.
Like part of me wants it to be something goofy as hell, where it's like, oh, you ran out of ammo. Like
lie.
He just tells some like lie in like some super dark voice where he's like, I drank all the milk and ate all the cookies. And it's like, you didn't.
And then he like uses his nose as a weapon because it gets so long. It's like a sword.
Or it's like, yeah.
He's like, I brought the saber, and he's like, good thing I know how to lie. It's like, oh my god, this nostril fuck. The end battle is like between like Pinocchio, Zyrtec, and Flonase, and they're like, who will reign nasal supreme? And like, that'd be fucking awesome. It's way darker than that, so it's definitely not gonna have that comedic tone, but that would be awesome if it did. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I just like a new take on an older story. I mean, I think that area is hot now, Lovecraftian stuff. I mean, it's always kind of been hot, but it's everything. It goes in cycles.
Yeah.
Lovecraft Country was great. It's kind of based off of some of that, and it's a new direction of that. Obviously, you have Souls. Obviously, Resident Evil Village is kind of Lovecraftian. I mean, there's something like intrinsic about like that when you read Lovecraft. It's like it just kind of like spans like any genre. You're kind of like, oh, it's always interesting, and I think everybody's just intrigued by it. Like they're like,
have you read a lot of Lovecraft?
I've read a little bit of Lovecraft, and anytime I read something about it or anything that's kind of like influenced by it, I always enjoy. Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's it's just something that's like always interesting.
Yeah, it puts a little creepy into the world, and
it's like the grim fairy tales as opposed to the natural fairy tales.
Yep.
Right? You get a little dark and grim. It's basically like if Zack Snyder decided to do the Disney movies. Is pretty much what this actually is, the Snyder versus Pinocchio. Yeah, that's like this is Zack Snyder's Pinocchio is what this should be called, because that's definitely what the fuck it is.
We need to like make that like a separate.
We'll clip it out.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Pinocchio is definitely what this is.
I mean, like take the poster and just edit out so it says Zack Snyder's Pinocchio.
Have it like black and white and real artistic, because he likes to do that shit, and just have it like a head down, and you see a long nose, and the light's just shining over the nose, and it's just like Zack Snyder's Pinocchio. It's like, oh my god, from the makers of 300 and Zack Snyder's 4 fucking hour Justice League. Yep. Pinocchio. Here comes the reinvention that nobody asked for. It's grit. It's Pinocchio. It's like,
I want to see more things like 300.
Awesome. What?
I said I want to see more things like 300.
Yeah, well, Warner Brothers turned down the third 300.
Bastards. I mean,
I know, but it's okay.
2 was okay.
2 was
sorry,
okay.
301.
Yeah, I thought 2 was like our average. 1 is like classic, like just like, but 2 it just didn't hit the same numbers. But anyways, yeah, Zack Snyder's Pinocchio would be fucking is exactly what this game is. And that's But I mean, if you haven't seen the trailer, just imagine that you have the trailer.
Yeah.
Imagine that and Souls, and you got it. So I'm kind of intrigued. Some of it's kind of intriguing me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll play the other big game that I'm excited to start playing, which comes out Tuesday, which I forgot to mention on this, is Biomutant.
Oh.
Biomutant is basically you're like this. It's an RPG that looks sick. It's by THQ Nordic. And it's a single player game where you're like, and you pick like different like elements, and you can kind of like different classes,
like upgrade your body and shit too. Yeah,
there's like different classes and stuff, and it looks fucking awesome. They haven't the PS5 and Series X aren't coming out on Tuesday. They haven't announced a current gen release date, but PC, PS4, Xbox One is Tuesday. Or then they said they're going to make a new version for PS5, Xbox Series X.
Yeah,
but you can play if you want. You can buy the 4 version and play it on PS5, obviously. Yeah. Same with Xbox Series X, but
it'd be like a real dark kind of like.
This isn't dark for the record. This is like teen. This is not like. This could be like the Marvel would accept this.
All right, fair enough.
I think.
I'm just thinking of like Rocket's backstory, where like he didn't want any of that. So like, how crazy would it be if like in your character upgrade section, like you see him like fighting, like he's trying to get out of there, and it's like, what kind of like technology do you want to put in? And he's like, no.
Stop touching me.
And then it goes back to first person.
That would be pretty fucking good.
It would be dark, but
it would be dark. Yeah,
this
I think this is teen. I don't think it's. Yeah. I'm trying to look for the actual fucking rating because I think the rating on their Wikipedia says TBD, which is definitely not the case.
While you're looking at that, I'm gonna just do like a little summary. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We got talking more about PS5, a couple new updates there. Apparently Time Splitters has a couple updates. I'm excited about that. A little bit of Sonic the movie release for Sonic 2.
That's right, baby.
And then just a couple little updates on different games that we are excited about, including God of War.
It's T for teen.
All right.
Also, I just realized I didn't even have these on.
You did not have them on.
But how did my audio sound? Pretty atrocious. Fucking good.
You sound so much better right now.
Yeah. This is just so I know the audio sounds good. That's the only difference. It is weird, like kind of going in and out. Although that I felt more free, like I can move around. For those just listening, I didn't have the headphones on. Is what we're talking about. Biomutant is teen. It's a RPG, open world RPG. It's got multiple branching storylines where decisions will kind of decide how the story kind of unfolds. It looks really fucking good. And they've been talking about it for a long time. But it's actually coming out on Tuesday. I was gonna get it, but I think I'm just gonna wait for the PS5 version because they don't have it where, or at least it doesn't explicitly state it. So that's why I don't want to do it. That you get the PS5 version when it comes out if you buy the PS4 one, like other ones do. Like buy the PS4, it's the PS4 PS5 version. And same with Xbox One, Xbox Series X. They've been doing that with a lot of other games. This one, it seems like they're just treating them as completely separate. So it's like I don't want to buy it twice, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just wait. They've released trailers for the PS5 and Series X version, just not a release date. Yeah. I would assume they're probably just trying to ensure a successful launch with this on Tuesday. And if it all, assuming all goes well, it doesn't like cyberpunk itself. In a week or two, they'll probably announce like PS4 or PS5 Series X comes out like end of June or early July or something like that. It's probably something like that.
Yeah.
But
they should have a.
You can customize your thickness, fur, fangs, all of it.
Oh, that kind of thickness. All right.
Oh yeah, baby. and sex length, body shape. Sex length, body shape, thickness, fur, fangs, and many other additional attributes that can be tweaked. Okay. And all have a direct impact on statistics of playing the character during gameplay. So if you make yourself a fat, furry bitch, does that mean like your gameplay you're going to be kind of a slog, but you have more hit power initially because when you finally swing that ass around, it's going to come with like the strength of 1,000 suns. So
damn thick.
Yeah. Oh, she's thick. I hope so. A thicker. Well, actually, no. Wait. A thicker character is heavier, which makes you slower. But on the flip side, it allows you to deal more and resist more damage.
There you go.
It literally just that's also awesome because every other game makes the customization exterior to gameplay. It's just like for you, how do you do it? But we're making you play the same.
Yeah.
This is like, if you're going to make yourself a cute fat furball,
Yeah.
that's fine, but you're also going to be slower, but you're going to hit more and you can take more damage.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucking cool.
I mean, that's what I like about a lot of these fighting games where you have different types of players that you can pick from. Because I always like to play Sheik in Smash Brothers because she's nimble and hops around and can do these little somersaults and shit like that. But if we're talking honestly, if we're talking real,
Bowser.
yeah,
Yeah.
I that vibes with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm not
Bowser
quick,
guy.
but if I want to like do something,
Throw
and set
down
my
the
mind
gauntlet.
to it, then
Yeah.
a little block isn't gonna help you.
No, I completely agree. I just haven't seen that like actually being in like an RPG game though, where weight is actually like not a ton really. To that extent where it's going to affect like your speed and actually you're dealing damage.
The only other thing I can think of is a game we'll mention later, Time Splitters.
Yeah.
Where you're like the little monkey and you're just like tearing through stuff, or you're like a giant robot that like trudges along but can soak up bullets.
But that's what I'm saying. This is just the character creator. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I guess maybe like in Conan, if you make your dick too big, you like slap on the slap. No. It also has a karma system, which is really cool. Which you might think of because they had the recent release of Mass Effect Remastered came out, and everybody's now playing it. You can get the whole trilogy, which is fucking great. But also that makes me think of the initial karma system or the game that I was thinking about.
Trivia.
Nice. The one I think about a lot is a Fable. People forget about Fable way back, which apparently there's going to be a new one for the Series X this year.
Ooh. Who makes that?
Running off the it's an Xbox exclusive. It's Microsoft. I forget what studio exactly. But it's going to be using the Forza Horizon engine. So
Interesting. Yeah.
So it should look pretty fucking good. And it's been like 10 years, I feel like, since we had a Fable. So,
yeah.
But when I saw Karma System, I was like, oh yeah, because you'd get like the horns and stuff if you go evil, and you can go really good. And then obviously other games like Mass Effect and stuff had the Vanguard and shit like that. So it's like,
yeah.
But yeah, no. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I only knew a little bit about this game like a couple months ago, and I thought it was a joke. Because I literally thought it was like a Rocket Raccoon joke. And then I see more and I was like, no, this is like a fucking legitimate THQ Nordic. It's the guy who make the WWE game, or like let's make Biomutant. And it's like, this is actually pretty fucking badass. So
yeah.
Well, I guess THQ Nordic is publishing. Developer Experiment 101 is doing it, which is actually really like a team of like 20 people who are getting a ton of shit online because they're like, why aren't the current gen releases coming out Tuesday as well? And it's like, because we only have 20 fucking people in the company.
Yeah,
like,
because fuck you, that's what...
and we're trying to deliver something awesome. So like, it's not that we don't want to, it's just we just don't have a ton. We're not a AAA developer.
Yeah.
And they like said basically that was a gist of their statement recently, which I was like, that's fair. I respect that. It's actually a bunch of former Avalanche Studio employees who were a bunch of the people that worked on like the Just Cause series.
Okay.
Did this. So they definitely know how to make an action game. Yeah. And they had 18 employees as of like 2 years ago, and now they have like 20. It's like, but basically it's a post-apocalyptic kung fu fable is what like the tagline is.
Okay.
I mean, that sells it right there. But yeah
I'd buy it off a tagline alone.
I agree. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. It looks awesome. And yeah, they're not a AAA developer, so get the fuck off them. The PS5 and Xbox Series X are over here. And you can play them backwards compatible if you really want. It's not a big of a deal. Because they're not supporting 4K 60 on the current previous gen. So people are like, what the fuck? And it's like, bro, just wait till the PS5 and Series X, which they released trailers where like those are obviously running 4K 60. So it's like, you can just wait a month. It's not like, or maybe two. Like, it's fine. Like, fucking raccoon with RPG stuff. He's gonna be cool no matter what. Like, you'll be fine. But yeah, so that game is kind of going into PS5, the PS5 Kraken.
Oh, Kraken,
which was kind of reference, and it's what I don't want to go into the design of the PS5 and the SSD again. But I kind of have to for a second. So Mark Cerny, who had a big tech talk about it, where he spent like 2 hours talking about the hard drive, and everybody's like, "Shut up," and I loved it. So basically, the Kraken is like part of what they use to help reduce game file sizes, which is part of the SSD that's specific to them, and we've seen it in action now. So, and we can do this, compare this to Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. The same game, Control Ultimate Edition, is 42.5 gigs on Xbox Series X.
Okay.
Right? So basically, the Kraken is a compression that's specific to they built into the PS5 SSD, so it can significantly compress the games, and then also, but still like not lose any performance or anything like that.
Right.
So it is 42.5 gigs on Xbox Series X. It's 25.79 gigs on PS5. Same game. It's a 39% reduction, but you would never notice it. And that's just part of how this is working. The other one is Subnautica on PS4. It's 14 gigs on the PS4. On the release for PS5, it's 3.5 gigs. 70% reduction.
Damn. That's insane.
Yeah, so it's like, it's pretty crazy. So basically, when large files remain a particular time, like a PS5, you get like, Call of Duty just keeps getting fucking bigger. Until Sony releases, the new system update where you can add the internal hard drive, like a new hard drive, so you kind of expand it.
Yeah.
This is stuff you're going to kind of have to hope for. So Call of Duty, obviously doing that. I'm trying to see if there's a quick overview, because I really don't want to go into it. But basically, it's Kraken is like their specific. It's a compression algorithm they've built into the SSD.
Yep.
To have like lossless compression, so you still can play your game, not have an issue with it. But you load the whole game without, because the other thing is like when you compress stuff too much, you get less resolution. That's why people want lossless audio and stuff.
Yeah.
There's different codec formats. You're like, yeah, but you lose something, right? It's not like when I played on the fucking record player or whatever.
So
yeah,
just to break it down and kind of come from our specialties, like I know what compression is just from a video standpoint, where that thing is a whole damn mess, where there's 1,000 different compression levels, and some stuff plays back better, other stuff edits better, and that's one reason you have like all your different MPEGs, JPEGs, ProRes, blah blah blah, and all that crap that you're editing with.
FLV, MKV.
But just from like a developer standpoint, what is the purpose of compression? I mean, shit, even just from like a zip file standpoint, that's your most basic compression that everyone uses.
Basically, I mean, it's just really to help the file size. The smaller file size, the more you can fit in the game. But you don't want to fuck with, like, Call of Duty is a good example. Like, you're always worried about the more you add high resolution all high resolution textures, all this kind of shit. You're loading more and more. It's becoming bigger and bigger. The game takes a bigger footprint. Also, these files are massive, and they have to send from here to here, right? So your I/O speed is now a problem. So if your I/O speed is very high, like the PS5, but you're also compressing the shit out of the file sizes, it means they're going faster. Like when you send a zip file to somebody, it's going to go, it's like, oh, it's a lot faster than sending the entire file.
Yeah.
Now, you generally can't play from that zip file because it has to unzip and do all that. This is basically that you can compress it and play from it. So it's kind of like, I guess the closest thing would be if you ever seen Silicon Valley. It's kind of like that, where it's like we did this, the pipe like middle out compression. It's kind of like that same situation where it's like you can get the lossless resolution and all the same resolution. We're getting the 4K textures, but we're getting it from a 30 to 70% reduction in file size, basically by how the SSD is handling the compression file type, and maybe how it's obviously going to uncompress it at some point.
Yeah,
but how it's doing all that, which is a quote unquote Kraken, which is I can't get a ton of info about it because a lot of it's patented, but that's basically what it's doing. So it's like patents. Yeah. So it's significantly helpful for a game, because if you think of, like you said about video, it's video, audio, game has to deliver everything.
Yeah.
And then also like the movement of the character, all these assets, things that you're not even looking at. Like video is just rendering the stuff that was literally filmed in front of it, right? And then additional layering you might put on top of it. The game, there's a world behind the character. Granted, it's loading a lot of those assets, kind of like we talked about with the rack, well, not rack focus, but the what was it? POV, not what am I thinking?
Field of view.
Field of view. But what is foveated view?
Foveated view, yeah. Or who knows?
But like that stuff has to exist because they have to have the world and your character's camera is looking one way, but the stuff is still behind them. It just might not be rendered the same way.
Exactly.
But there's still stuff there. So if you can compress, the better you can compress, the more you can load in. And it's like you have a smaller file size, so you have more space. It's basically just less pressure on the hard drive.
They're like ghosts. Just because they're not rendered doesn't mean they're not there.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so that's I mean, that's huge. That's a game. I mean, compression is a big thing, mainly because lossless compression is a big thing. It's like compressing is great because you save space. Your file space matters more. You can move things faster because they're technically smaller size, but getting the same exact thing as you would when it's completely like uncompressed. That's the key game plan, which obviously these games are doing that with Control, getting you the same exact resolution and textures, but at 39% reduction compared to the Series X, and Subnautica, 70% reduction, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Even if it's a PS4 game, that doesn't matter. It's just the compression algorithm that is crazy. So, and they did that because it's all part of the special stuff in the SSD. We talk about it a lot, but it is like there's a lot to this thing.
Technology. It's
right.
It is pushing the boundaries. It seems like. I mean, I was just talking.
It just helps developers be like, we can create bigger and bigger worlds and bigger things like Ratchet and Clank or whatever Returnal because of these kind of innovations.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too that like it's hard to sell to the general public. I was just talking with my girlfriend about it where she's
That's
like,
actually a good point.
The PlayStation is like, the new one is like so ugly.
Say it said girlfriend.
And it's so much bigger and it's so much whatever. And it's like, yeah, but there's a lot more power that comes from it. There's a lot more. And she's like, yeah, I don't really like, the resolution isn't that much different. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. But the power to like start it up faster. And she's like, yeah, but they're like glitching and shit. And I'm like, some games are glitching, but that's a developer thing, and that's not something that you can.
That's on the console. That's
on the console, but that's the type of stuff that everyday people are thinking about. Where it's like, oh, what's the point of me buying a PS5?
That's a good point.
If it's just going to like glitch out on me and whatever.
Right? If they just associate it to like Cyberpunk, and they're like, what are you talking about? But like my girlfriend's like sister and her boyfriend were here the other day, and he was talking about, oh, could you actually play Cyberpunk? I was like, yeah, I've like beaten it. And I was like. I had like a couple issues where it crashed, but then it wasn't a big deal for me, but other people did have big deals. Yeah. So it's kind of like, it is what it is. But you have to separate that. But yeah, you're right. Like if people just associate it to the single game, like if GoldenEye was N64, right? People are like, oh, I could never play GoldenEye. They're like, N64 sucks.
Yeah.
And even the Kraken thing, it's like, it's compressed. People are like, great. Like, what does that mean? It's like, it means you can play a massive fucking game that looks great and has a bunch of shit going on and not take up as much space on your hard drive.
Yeah.
So if you're packing a car, you can get all the useful shit you want in your car, except you're only taking up a fourth of the trunk space that you were going to take up, but you're still packing everything in there. That's pretty much what you're doing. And it's like,
that's where they came up with the name. It's keep on packing and let's get cracking.
Yeah. Well, it's actually written like the Kraken, which seems to be the hot in the streets ever since fucking Pirates of the Caribbean came out. Now Seattle has an NHL team called the Kraken, which makes no sense. It should have been like the Sockeyes. But whatever. Seattle Sockeyes sounds better. But anyways, rolls off the tongue.
It's alliterative, that's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so it's pretty cool. I mean, even this article actually kind of says that. They're like, it's kind of hard to explain. Let me actually get the exact line because it's pretty much what you just said. Which promised to help reduce game file sizes. While the majority of that talk may have gone over the average consumer's head, we're now seeing the benefits of Kraken in action. The results are impressive. The results are a 14 gigabyte game. It's 3.5 gigs on PS5, but it plays exactly and looks exactly the same, if not better. A 42.5 gigabyte game on Xbox Series X is only 25.79 gigabytes on PS5, and they look and have the same 4K 60 frames per second frame rate without loss due to the compression.
Yeah.
That, point blank, you want simple numbers. Those are the simple numbers, simple answers. I mean, it's intriguing, the technology behind it. I could talk about it all day, but like you said, it's a marketing thing.
Yeah.
Just smaller number, good. Yeah. That's all you need to do. So it looks great, and it's smaller. Awesome. Yeah. Think of your iPhone. Think of cell phone. Used to in the 80s there would be massive things. Now it's on your iPhone. Just think of it the same fucking thing.
Yeah. And not only that, people are paying to have their phones bigger now.
I know, it's hilarious. Now, well, everything flips. So, but speaking of going back in time splitters.
Okay.
Yeah, great transition.
I'm just gonna do a patent transition, but let's do it.
No, well, we can go on there. Wait, do you mean patent or patent?
The latter.
Like General Patton. And he's like standing in front of the line. But yeah, so Time Splitters from Deep Silver announced that a number of key original members of Free Radical Design have joined together to reform the studio under the same name, including former founders Steve Ellis and David Doak. The studio will serve as a subsidiary to Deep Silver.
Okay.
What does this mean? To be firmly, the quote is, to finally be able to confirm that the studio has formed and that there is a plan for the next Time Splitters game is incredible. We served as a studio director. Ellis said, serving as studio director. While we cannot tell you anything more at the moment, we will look forward to sharing you information in the future.
Hell yeah.
But they basically rebuilt the same studio with most of the key members and confirmed the new Time Splitters game is coming. So obviously it will be a current gen game. That's all we can go off of. That was a couple days ago. That's pretty much all we know. We're looking at hopefully maybe next year, maybe a couple years. But you know what? Fuck it. That's awesome. I'm so in, and it's like, because the OG ones are awesome way back. And that was 2000 when the first one launched. Yeah. So, I mean, it's 21 years ago. So I think it's time. We do. It was actually a launch game for PS2. But I think we can, I think we should be excited about this. There's not a ton additional about that.
No, I mean, there doesn't need to be, but like that's still some big.
The last one was 2005.
I'm excited about it. That's great. Time Splitters 2, or was there a 3?
3. It was technically 3. So 2 was 2002, and then Time Splitters Future Perfect. It was technically 3. It was the third installment, but it was never called 3. But that was 2005. Okay, so that was 16 years ago. So I mean, it's like they were releasing them like every 2 to 3 years, and then they just like stopped. And I think now it's like that was such a unique game. It's like we can let's fucking get this one. It's like it's the other one with the Horseman, and I can't remember. That's that Horseman game.
Yeah,
where
each one was one of the cool things about Time Splitters is just the fact that since you can take advantage of time and space, they do as well. But like
Darksiders,
there we go. You can like just the fact that you're getting like
also THQ Nordic published that.
The fact that you're getting like old timey whatever and like futuristic stuff side by side is just such a unique playing experience. That
dude, how cool is that going to be with the new gens though? Like you look at Ratchet and Clank going through all those basically time periods.
Yep.
Time Splitters doing that. I think there's like this game could be fucking like what
real
they wanted,
potential.
What they wanted the original one to be.
Yes.
But like they have the technology now to like
instead of each level being a different world, like you can chase people through like
it's got to be open world, just like it's going to be basically Ratchet and Clank. Like a rift apart. It's probably going to be.
It would be cool if they pulled it in that direction for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's really exciting.
I actually am a little worried that they might go too far into that. I hope that it's.
You think they're gonna take away
to like a certain amount of stuff where it's like, if you just do it where you're hopping between worlds the whole time. One of the magic parts about that game is that it felt like 20 smaller games where you're like,
each level felt unique.
Yeah, I'm playing a cowboy game. Now I'm like in some like robot escape scenario, and now I'm in like some like crazy other thing. And
that's true. You're right. Yeah, but like I mean, the fact that they could like, if they're just still they could still do it. And I think make each one feel like its own world.
Yeah,
I agree. They just can't let that lose that part.
Mm-hmm.
But
because it's real tempting to be like, the whole game is this multi-tier thing where you're hopping between all these different worlds and time zones.
I mean, because that fits like kind of their narrative. It's like, but part of it's also like the gameplay changed every level.
Exactly.
So you kind of want to make sure. If you're doing hopping between, the gameplay is changing when you hop in between.
Yep.
But no, it's definitely true. I mean, I think it's exciting. I think it's also going to be exciting if it's a platform exclusive game too. They didn't mention that at all, but it was a PS2 launch game, and people seem to keep forgetting that. And I'm like,
I'll keep reminding you.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. That could be like people might not, and I bet a lot of people now actually don't know what the fuck that game is, and that could be something that's like gets people in. Like, I would almost be like,
they should release very overshadowed by Halo at the time,
right? And they should almost re-release like the first and second as like a remastered, and be like, hey, the new one comes out in next year.
I would be very happy with that.
Yeah, I would fuck with that for sure.
Yep.
But all right, so what do we want to go? We're gonna keep going on this PS5 trend. There's another thing we have to mention about PS5 and Xbox Series X. So we are 5 months into Xbox, 5 months into 2021, and just like PS4 and Xbox One, PS5 is outselling the shit out of I was gonna say 360 Series X. It's about a 2-to-1 ratio, which not as bad. PS4 to the first year was 7-to-1, so
What?
that was crazy. But this actually has sold more. This actually sold more than the PS4 in the same allotted time. But yeah, 2 generations in a row they've done it. So they did it again. Basically, the Sony has shifted 2.83 million consoles in the first quarter of 2021. Series X plus X, so both
of them, yeah.
S and X, which is 2 different consoles, is 1.31 million.
Okay.
So 1.31 times 2, 2.62 million, which is still less than 2.83. So that's why it's 2-to-1 ratio. Meaning there's twice as many. So basically for every one, there's 2 PS5s going out the door, which is funny because it's hard to fucking find one of them. Yeah, it's like you can't fucking find them because everybody has a semiconductor shortage. And I'm really not trying to be a Sony fanboy. These are just the facts that are what happened. If the Xbox, I would say that for the record, if Xbox sold this, I'd be like, Xbox is outselling the fuck out of PlayStation. Yeah. They're just not. And they haven't for 10 years. Like, it was a 360. And the 360, they kicked the fuck out of the PS3. And it is what it is. But it's pretty interesting, especially because a lot of people are like, oh, what games are on either of these, right? Like, there's not a ton of exclusives. You have a ton. You have like Miles Morales and Demon Souls are like, but now they're starting to kind of get there. There was a Last of Us 2 update last week that is now 4K 60 frames per second on PS5. So I might replay that. I mean, but that's also on PS4.
And now that we have like the whole Bethesda thing, like you're gonna see a lot of.
So like Starfield's gonna be fucking huge for Xbox, but again, it's also on PC because of that Xbox Game Pass deal. Yeah, it's like that's what I don't like that people are like, you're a Sony fanboy or an Xbot or whatever, like Xbox fanboy. Because Xbox is not even in the console game anymore. They have left. Mm-hmm. They don't care. Yeah. If you understand how they're marketing and what they're designing, that is what they are saying. They made Game Pass. They made the Xbox universe so you can play on your phone, on your computer, on your console, whatever's cheaper and the easiest way for you to access their content. That's what they're trying to do. Sony is still trying to do.
It's a very progressive point of view, but these roots run deep.
Yeah, I mean the xCloud and the xCloud and all that. Like they're just trying to. They're like, we're gonna adapt and do a different market. Yeah, the console market is Sony and Nintendo now, pretty much, because Nintendo's not doing that, and Sony hasn't announced they're doing that. They probably will do something.
They're gonna do something.
But I don't see them ever going like fully off the console. Xboxes seem to basically bow and be like, hey, we lost. We're not gonna beat Sony ever in the console thing. We got lucky once, and it's just not gonna happen again. So it's like, but get your Xbox if you can. If you can have a PC that's better than the Xbox Series X, which there's a ton are, but they are a lot more expensive, then that's the better out because you still get the same games day one, right? That's it. If they didn't give you the games day one, that would be the difference that they cared to still be in the console race. They don't, because they give it to you day one on PC or wherever or xCloud, wherever you're playing it on. Yeah. Which is fine because it's a different marketing thing, and that's huge. I mean, I've said this 1,000 times. Game Pass is the best deal in gaming, period. Yeah. You can't find a better deal. Takes a shit out of anything Sony has, right? Or anything Nintendo has, or anything anybody has. But they're just not. So stop being like, I mean, like that's another reason why PS5s outsold the Xbox. Like, if you want a valid argument, you could be like, well, what about Game Passes on PC? Because we're not just doing the consoles anymore. That's the valid retort to these kind of numbers. But these are the fucking numbers. Like, so accept it and stop, move on. Also accept that the best way to do this is PS5, PC, Switch. Get every fucking game day one. Period. If you can't afford the PC that can do it, then get the other ones. Like, it's just is what it is. And then I mean, I'll have probably eventually get a Series X when they're like down, so I can play Starfield in 3 years. But it will be half the price by then, so that's great. Or I'll just play it on my PC. It's just that a lot of people, the consoles are generally in the living room for a lot of people, so it's like easier to kind of hook up to the TV. But anyways, that's my point. So there is no more console wars. Get the fuck over it, because Xbox left. They left the console. They were like, "Fuck this, we're out," and that's fine. They still make the consoles so they can give you Game Pass. That's pretty much the whole point of the console at this point. But yeah.
So I did want to touch on there was a I don't know what happened.
Well, as long as you guys still hear us, yes, we're fine.
And then see the fact that like Bitcoin or any kind of crypto can be used to make bets on video games, like that just feels like the future.
Yeah. So to be clear, Sony patented an esports betting patent that would accept both physical and digital currency. So it does accept normal cash as well. The system would use an interface overlay to allow gamblers to bet in real time watching esports. Think of it like you're betting on the Eagles game.
Yeah.
The Flyers game under the live betting section on your app. It's now the live betting section from your PS5 when people are playing Valorant or fucking Halo or whatever.
Does that mean they're also going to make
But it'll accept Bitcoin transactions, Ethereum, or just USD or whatever else? Yep.
Does that mean that they're going to make it kind of like your console is also your interface for watching esports?
Oh yeah, they definitely. Oh yeah, they have a couple of esports like things they do sometimes.
Yeah,
but I think they're going to try to make it like a portal.
Cool. Yeah, so it'll be almost like a Twitch with
it's supposed to overlay on top of that view. So like if you're watching it from a Twitch or whatever, PS5 will have the option to be like, oh, do you want to bet on this?
Yep.
Because we know what you're watching on Twitch, kind of thing.
That's cool.
And it's like that is cool. It's also like we went through this with kids in Fortnite. With loot boxes, which everybody agreed that the courts literally agreed are fucking gambling.
Yeah.
Because they are. So then it's like, this is literal gambling. How are they? It's like kids take their parents' credit card, buy Fortnite shit.
Yeah.
How are they controlling the gambling from this? Because the gambling apps are very well controlled.
I think this is just going to be whether or not you do it through like your actual PlayStation or there's like a separate website that you're going to have to sign up on. Like if you're doing stocks, if you're doing anything like that, you have to like put in your social security. You have to put
same with betting. Betting apps, you have to sign up and set your bank account and like basically accept like the way and be in the correct states that even allow it.
Which is kind of what I'm getting to. It's way more than just punching in a credit card. You can't sneak something out of a wallet and then you're signed
only until
losing $1 million.
Only until you're signed up. But if you're registered, it's just you can just
I'm hoping.
But to get to that point, it's like the kid has to get to that point. Now, the problem is some parents might be like, yeah, whatever, here, I'll sign you up. And it's like, read what the fuck you're signing up for because, like, you're going to be.
And there's only so many excuses you can make for stupid parents. Like,
oh, yeah. But, like, betting apps on a phone is different than, like, this kid's going to go play PS5 all night. I don't know that he's betting on my account. Like, what if, like, we share the PS5, I'm betting on it, and my kid's playing it? It's like,
I hope there's a password for it.
Yeah. I just think that's something because then it's like, I mean, that's just age is a big thing. That's like it's very illegal if you're not the certain age.
Well,
although if your kid wins, you're like, that was me betting.
Like I have the face recognition on my phone to like unlock it, and it unlocks most apps and will unlock my phone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I sign on to Robinhood, it will not unlock it if I have a mask on. I need to be full face. Like, it's weird that it's differentiating just by the app.
Yeah, I mean, I actually haven't had that issue. I've had it unlock with the mask on, but the new update 14.5 for iOS
is supposed to kind of subvert that. But I've found that it's still the same thing, and it's just with Robinhood. It's really weird.
That's weird. I haven't had that, but I have had a couple where it's like I approve it on my watch. It's like you have your mask on, hit like accept unlock or whatever, or like your phone's unlocked right now. Do you want to lock it? It does both since the new update. But yeah, I mean. That I also think there's to be honest, I think there's just a lot of bugs in that. But their face tracking is like number one on the market. No one's close to Apple on that.
Yes.
So it's like that is super. And PS5.
There's a guy that 3D printed his face
from that.
No, like just as a separate thing and tried to unlock his phone, and it was like nope. It was he 3D printed it and painted it to make it look exactly like him. And it still wouldn't accept.
Well, it also uses like temperature and shit like that too. So that's being probably
crazy.
Yeah. But and like electromagnetic is how the fingerprint used to work. So it wasn't actually heat. It was actually testing like the electromagnetic sensors in your phone. Because that's why touchscreens used to suck because they would used to be about heat.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. Then they've realized if we use like it's like called like electromagnetic sensory I forget the whole thing, but like that's why if you think of like the BlackBerry Storm, that was like the old
conductive
heat one, right? And they weren't as focused, and then Apple did that, and that's what everybody started doing after that. But their face technology is kind of like a leap like that. Sony does have the same thing, like if you use the cameras, it will unlock with your face, and stuff. It's pretty good. It's not this. It's definitely not as good, but it's not bad. So maybe they'll do something like that with this, like, hey, Dad, sit down real quick, and it's like bang. But no, it's crazy. But I mean, if it's a sports game, you should be allowed to bet on it. If I can bet on actual sports, these are just electronic sports. It's the only difference. And if we're gonna really say, I mean, they're on ESPN now, so really gonna say these are athletes and shit, then let me bet on some fucking athletes.
It's also cool too, like you can bet mid-game and the odds change while the game is going on. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. The live betting is like, it can really swing, which is also, if you really believe your team's going to win, like to give you an example of that. I love the Flyers, obviously, and they are always come back from multiple goals. Like, it just like they have to go down 2 goals to win the game by 3.
Yeah.
So it's like
Penn State.
Right. So when they go down by 2 and I'm like watching the game and I'm like, they are clearly the better players on the ice. They're just getting like playing stupid, but they'll get it together. It'll be like plus 450. So for bad, that means if you put $100 down, you win $450.
Yeah.
As like an odds thing. So I'll be like, yeah, I'll throw another $20 on it and I'll win like for like $145 or whatever. And 8 times out of 10, it does hit. And it's like, bang. And it's like, you just go, wow, I just fucking quadrupled my money in a heartbeat plus. And it's crazy. But yeah, live betting is where it's at. That's actually what our frat brother was talking about this morning in that chat.
But if you're live betting and your overlay is over the screen, I don't know. Like, I understand that the same thing is happening with sports on TV.
So you don't want live betting on eSports?
No, I think it'd be cool. Okay. I understand that watching TV and seeing it updated on your phone is theoretically the same thing, but watching it like on your system and having that overlay where you see like
it's way more interactive.
Someone's kill like just throws off the stuff and you're like actively seeing it change on screen with how people are performing.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be probably a little bit addictive, but
definitely
like
addictive. Yeah,
a whole new experience. So
I agree. It's basically you become the sports book because that's like what it's like in a sports book. They have like the numbers up like on the game.
Yeah.
So if you're watching like a football game, they have the numbers right next to the game. So it's not like you're looking at it's like you see them changing. Like that when that interception just happened, it's like this is like you're saying like, oh, so someone just got like 2 kills or something and it kind of swayed like maybe it's a death match game or something and just swayed like the odds of like them losing or winning. And just seeing that, and the fact that it's like hit X for like just live bet that team hit X right now. It's like fucking like, but yeah, it's going to be addicting because you're going to play it. The problem is when it's becoming an app stuff, you play it like a game. It becomes a game, which is fun, but you need to remember, do it with the money. You basically, the way I bet shit is like, let's say I bet like $200 in a betting thing. I'm like, I'll put like $200 in and I'm like, I'm not putting money in for 5 months. And I'm going to just, if I lose all that in one bet or not. And like, I've been lucky that like way won more than that. And it's like, I just can take out my initial investment. But even if I lose, and there's been times when you don't do that well, my point is I'm like, as soon as I invested in the betting app, you can say, I assume I've lost that money. I do not operate thinking I'm getting that money back. I operate thinking that money's gone forever, period. It's a separate bank account that I do not associate to my current funds. And then it's like, now I can, I have a couple win one of those live bets, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like $500 in there. Let's say, put my initial investment back. Great. But I do not expect to do that. And I'm also okay to not putting more in. I'm not going to, if I lose it all like tomorrow, I won't like try to put more money in. Like I like,
you can't because you have to as like
it.
An extension of your actual like bank account and
you have to accept you've lost the money.
Yeah.
You have to have that because if you don't have the mentality, that's when it's like only based on what I'm saying is just bet what you assume you can lose.
Yeah. The way I do it
can't
is
do it the other way.
Just in my head, like I am paying for entertainment. It is the same way that if I go to a movie, if I go out to the bar for a night, like I assume that $40, $80, $5, whatever is just gone. If it doubles up, that just is like
bonus.
It's your entertainment's paying you back. But in no way is it like supposed to be some kind of investment and
right. Because I think when people think about it the other way is when they get in trouble.
Yes.
Because that's when you're like, oh, then you start chasing. It's like, do not fucking chase.
Yep.
Just be like, I lost. I'll try again tomorrow or in a month, whatever. Take a breather. Because when you get that, that's the cycle that it's like, it's the same thing when like in video games or whatever, you start chasing, you die a bunch, you just keep trying to do the same thing. It's like, dude, you need to take a break from the game. Like Dark Souls, you're just going to keep dying. Just take a fucking breather.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need the getaway that's the only thing I would say because we're talking about gambling so much. Gamble responsibly is what I'm getting at.
Yep.
It is a ton of fucking fun. I'm so in on this, but gamble responsibly and only bet what you accept you can lose because that's the only way it's gonna be fun, or else you're gonna have a bad fucking day.
Yeah, and for anyone that does have a problem, there's plenty of hotlines online that you can call that can help with it.
All right, so let's go back into fun stuff. Not that wasn't fun, but also another update on some gaming stuff. God of War Ragnarok. This is not official, so this is still supposed to release this year, supposed to around November, is what it's looking like. Its tentative title is still God of War Ragnarok. They haven't said that's the official title, but they did have the teaser where it said that, so we're assuming it is. There's rumors, but it's not official, that it is a PS5 exclusive.
Oh.
This does not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Basically, not that you knew. If one, it was always going to be exclusive to Sony. It's really that it's not coming on PS4 is the news, right? Because God of War is always exclusive to Sony, so it's it was never oh, it's going to be on Xbox. It's more of it's just current gen, right?
Yeah.
So, which to me does not surprise me because it's they pushed the bounds on the new God of War, and it sounds like they really want to let's fully take advantage of this and games like Returnal and stuff I talked about and Ratchet and Clank, they have to make that decision in development.
Yeah.
Be we can have this minimum viable product, right? Or MVP is what it's called. And it's using the criteria from the PS5 because that way they don't have to try to support lesser stuff and be let's just go for the wall.
2 games at the same time, and
or you're making a lesser game that's not taking full advantage of the architecture. This way, it's at minimum we're doing this because we're gonna set up the scene this way to do whatever. We can create these additional areas that because we wouldn't be able to load in, so they might have been oh, we'll do those later. Now it's we can just do that all at once. So I like it because it makes them very focused, and it's you don't have to support all these different areas. You're just supporting PS5.
Yep.
So just fucking go for your QA team is focused, your dev team is focused, and you are building a game with a high, recommended spec. It's building a game that can only do on the high end PCs.
Yeah.
But because of that, you're gonna get a really fucking great looking game. A lot of stuff. Returnal is a perfect example of this, where so much is happening, and you're playing it for 2 seconds. And you're literally there's no possible way this game could work on anything else. Yeah. Literally, it was the first thought. As soon as I play, it's very obvious. And that sounds like what this is. Again, this is not official. But to be honest, this sounds exactly what I kind of expected and was hoping. I also find it really weird. They haven't officially said there was a delay yet because I cannot see this still releasing November. I feel like it has to be delayed.
Just the fact that
I don't want it to be. I just feel like it will be.
You need to. The fact that they're only doing it on PS5. The fact there's just so many that still need to be bought. There's so many people that still want them. It seems like you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot by only making it PS5 at this point.
Well, I don't know.
Or
it's selling more PS5s. I mean,
yeah. But if there's
if they exist,
bottleneck in the actual PS5 production, that's the problem, I guess. But I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I'm sure they're going to make money either way. But it's just interesting. I think they had to. I think they had to get to that point. I think it's going to be 2022. I don't think we're going to see this year.
And I think they just have to accept it. I mean, eventually you have to just be it's only next year. I mean, I think. Wasn't it Call of Duty recently said their new one is just going to be next gen or current gen? I mean,
okay.
And Battlefield 6, you see, it's supposed to finally announce in June. They teased it on Twitter, and it's I think it's June 15th or something like that. But it's sometime in June they're going to officially announce Battlefield 6 and stuff like that. I wouldn't be totally surprised if they just completely skip the past gen. They're yep, PS5, Xbox Series X, that's it, PC. Because that's what they should do. You can load so much, especially a game like that. There's so much more you can do and expect than me trying to play online against PS4. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And Ragnarok, I mean, for what the original game was on PS4, imagine that on PS5 spec as a baseline. The game's gonna be fucking incredible. It would be incredible if it was shared, but
yeah,
it's just even more of what they can do. So I would bet. That it is to be really. There's only been a couple that have actually been shared. Miles Morales, but that was in development early enough that it makes sense. And The one that also surprised me is Horizon Zero. Well, not Zero Dawn. Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Is PS4, PS5.
Ah.
So that surprised me. That was because Ratchet and Clank is PS5 only. Demon Souls PS5 only, and this is heavily insinuating that God of War Ragnarok will be. Because also people are forgetting the biggest week in gaming is back this year, because obviously last year with COVID, but we're gonna find out all of this shit in 1 week, 2 weeks. It's basically Christmas for gaming because E3 E3 is back, and Summer Games Fest also starts June 10th is the kickoff for that with Weezer, but then we also have E3's back this year. So I mean, that's where all this stuff's going to be announced in basically the beginning of June, and like E3 is June 12th to June 15th. So basically, they're both starting in like 2 weeks, pretty much like 2-3 weeks. So we'll find out all these answers pretty soon because there'll definitely be a Ragnarok thing they'll do Sony. What I don't think Sony's going again, but they'll probably just do their own conference at the same time.
Yeah,
but I think Ragnarok is going to be, I mean, it would definitely be probably Final Fantasy Remake Part 2, but we can kind of do like a next week or the week before, do like a what we hope is going to happen at E3, kind of the big announcements, and we'll kind of like go both bring our own, like, ooh, I hope they do this, and then we can see who's right afterwards and stuff like that. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so anyways, I think they're going to do that there. So pretty interesting shit. But either way, I think you have to do this. I think eventually you have to accept it. I know they're hard to get right now, but you got to start building a library that's exclusive to that console.
Yeah.
And it sucks that, the semiconductors are shortage. It's going to get better, but, I saw they're actually moving to put them in stores. Like I know Xbox did, and I think Sony's going to do the same thing. So then that way you can't get the bot scalpers, right? It's like they're physically in the store, so it's like you can physically go there now. So, but there's, it's not like there's going to be 100 in the store. So it is what it is. You just got to get lucky.
Yeah.
But it'll be worth it in the end, I think. All right. So yeah, that's kind of that. I think we should probably go to trivia. I actually will let you go first, so then I can think of some trivia. In the meantime.
All right.
Also, Knuckles is going to be teamed up with Dr. Robotnik and Sonic 2. But yeah, so let's go. That was it. Threw that one in there.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. But yeah, which I'm excited about, but we'll talk about that closer when the movie's coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, just the fact that we're getting Knuckles and some of the other characters and stuff like that is going to be sweet.
Yes.
Tails was at like that
Tails
was like an after credits thing, right?
Tails is the after credits thing, so we know Tails is in it, and then obviously Knuckles is pretty much confirmed to be in it as well, which is fucking dope.
Who's the other one?
Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadow is like the coolest one, but Knuckles was like
Shadow is like another version of Knuckles or whatever. But like Knuckles was the cool one, like the cooler one, and then they made Shadow and you're like, oh wait, no, he's the cooler one.
Well, like Shadow was like too cool. Knuckles was like my boy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Sonic is still the OG. You gotta give it to
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go on trivia.
Do you want some trivia?
I want some trivia.
A little trivia?
Yeah.
All right. So we are doing this week. I will tell you a race. So like an alien or otherworldly race, and you have to tell me what game it is from.
Okay.
All right. Asari. ASARI.
Mass Effect.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That is the all-female race that can reproduce with any other race.
Yes.
Which is one of the things Mass Effect is known for, that
you can fuck everybody.
Yeah. Drow. DROW.
Oh no, I know what it is. Elder Scrolls? No. I do know what it is. This one will bother me.
It will. I can't give you a hint without just giving it away.
Okay. I feel like I played this recently.
You have played it. I don't know about recently.
Let me just
Ooh, are we gonna do a circle back? We don't do that often.
I might, yeah, let me get back to that one.
Okay, all right. Enderman.
I mean, that's from Minecraft.
Bingo.
Yeah. Okay. You don't like pick that race though, but
no, it's just a race.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like you had to select it. Okay,
No.
Got it. I'm still thinking about the drow.
Gerudo. Gerudo.
I don't know off the top of my head.
That's Zelda. I had a feeling it wasn't going to be one of your strong
I
points.
got to drill through a bunch of those.
That's less of a race, even though they are all like different looking, but it's a like female warrior that lives in the desert, and they're across like all the games. Inkling.
Is this I'm thinking like it's actually like it looks like a piece of ink, right?
Not quite.
I don't know. Bug snacks.
Splatoon.
I was gonna actually say Splatoon. But I couldn't remember the name of that. And I was like, I don't think he's gonna ask me a Splatoon question. I was thinking of Splatoon. You said that too. Fuck, I should have just said that. Because when you said not quite, I was like, it does look like ink though.
Like they look like they have ink splotches on them, but they're not like a blob of ink.
That's why I changed it, because I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Fuck, I should have just went with Splatoon.
Khajiit. Khajiit.
No, I know. Wait, are you gonna ask similar? Isn't that Mass Effect as well? No. I mean, I know it. Like I know it, but I just.
If you can tell me what they look like, I'll accept that as an answer.
I mean, I know the game. I just can't. Like, I'm like that and the Drow.
Khajiit's like a very specific thing.
Khajiit, isn't it from Star Wars? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
It is the Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls. Oh, that's yeah.
They're like the cat people.
Yeah. I hear you know.
Fuck. Vex.
All of these I know, and it's bothering the shit. I'm just like, I should have drank more coffee today. God damn it. I know this. What is a drow, by the way? I can't keep
Dungeons and Dragons.
God damn it. I had to get it out of my brain because it was just like I was just thinking about it during all these other the Vex. All these I know. God damn it. This is good trivia because I can't think of it. I can't think of it. I don't know.
Destiny.
Yep.
They're the ancient semi-organic machines.
No, I know. God damn it.
I'm letting the viewers know.
Yeah.
We're listeners.
Oh, damn it.
Shokan. Shokan.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just going to keep saying that. My brain is like off now.
It's shot in the dark.
Shokan.
Yep.
Mortal Kombat. I don't know.
Bingo. It's what Goro is. The four-armed guy.
Bang, got it. Knew it the whole time.
Flood. Or the
Halo.
Flood. There we go. And then Necromorphs.
I should know. I don't remember. I should know this one.
Yep.
I can't think of anything.
Dead Space.
God damn it. Yes. Yep, that's obvious. Yep. Fucking stupid. Fuck. Fuck. Whatever.
I had a lot of fun with that one. That was
what?
I said I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah. I'm glad you did. I did not.
All right. Well, are we in MPD territory?
I actually had a different thing, but
damn it.
I will check because they were coming out pretty recently. So let's check. Now you're right. We should check the MPDs. I don't think it's out. Yeah, let me check.
I'm fine with that not being a thing. Did you have other trivia?
I'm pretty sure I do have
prefer other trivia over that anyway.
We can
save it for
next week. Let me look at Matt I gotta have to look at Matt Piscatella's Twitter
because that's what MP stands for.
May 27th.
Sorry.
Yeah. So next week we will definitely have the MPDs. All right. So because I mentioned it during this and I was kind of interested, this is gonna be just a quick one.
Yeah.
The Darksiders games, you play as the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Each game there is a different horseman.
Okay.
So you're going to tell me which horseman you played as in each game. Darksiders. And I'm just giving you the title. There's also no colon, so it doesn't like give you a hint.
Okay.
So what horseman do you play as in this one?
Which is there's multiple games of Darksiders.
Each game is a different horseman.
So which one are we on now?
First one,
Oh, all right.
Darksiders.
I'm not even sure of the four horsemen. I feel
know.
like it's like death, chaos.
Just give me something. I will. If you get it too wrong, I'll give you the four horsemen. You can just pick
chaos.
No. Do you want to guess again? It's war.
So
all right. So let's go. It's war. Yeah. All right. So, Darksiders 3.
I just got a notification that it's your birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right, baby. Darksiders 3.
Death.
Fury. Darksiders 2.
Wrath. I don't know.
Death. Also, the cool thing about these, they're all parallel. All of the games are parallel to the other game. So
nice.
Even though they're releasing like
they happen at the same
2010, 2012, 2018, they all like happen like they're all interweaved.
I actually really like that because that's how Ender's Game has like the Ender series and then the Shadow series, and the Shadow series happens at the same time as the.
So the fourth game is never out, so they haven't finished Darksiders 4, which is why everybody's hoping we're gonna get the fourth one because we never got the fourth horseman of the apocalypse,
which is.
I know what it is.
I know you. I was hoping I could get you to say it.
Well, we could say it. Darksiders 4. You play as.
I don't know the four horsemen. All right, so we have.
Well, which ones did you set?
Death, War. What was it? Fury.
Yes. So, which ones did you say? Fury. Yes, Fury, Death, War are the three that you have correct.
Is it Plague?
No.
Is it Pestilence?
Pestilence is like kind of it.
Blight. I don't know.
Conquest.
Okay. I thought they would be more.
Although I swear to God, these names change. Like, I swear there's different names to these fucking things.
Yeah. I think I just get like biblical stuff mixed up with it too. But it's also like kind of lame. Like, I feel like the four horsemen of the apocalypse should have like a little more breadth.
Because for the record, Conquest is also Pestilence. They seem to be interchangeable.
Yeah, and then
he's also the first horseman.
Death is also all of them.
Right.
And then War and Conquest are overlapping heavily.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, but he's actually the first horseman, which is interesting.
Huh.
So the games, I guess they're saving the first horseman for last because War is the second horseman. The third is a food merchant, which is famine, and the fourth is death.
Huh. All right.
So it's Conquest, War, Famine, Death.
Okay.
But yeah, so there you go. That was your little biblical Darksiders trivia.
I like it.
Basically, because we talked about time splitters, and I was like, Darksiders is also fucking awesome. Where's the fourth game of Darksiders? We need that. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. Resident Evil will probably have more of an update. Maybe I'll play some Biomutant so we get some of that love in here. And then obviously I'll do some more of my Valorant updates because I have been playing a lot of Valorant as well.
For anyone that has not yet, if you join our Instagram, we have weekly trivia on there as well.
And there's also Man Crush Mondays and Women Crush Wednesdays stuff. There's just all your favorite characters.
Yes, sir.
Fucking good shit. I love it. I'll allow you one more of it. And you should probably also subscribe to the fucking YouTube channel and all the socials.
Just please, YouTube.
Just do it. All of them. You'll like it. You'll love it. You'll want more of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The rest of them, we're just happy to interact with you. YouTube, we need to hit a milestone to be able to make that a Glad You game tag.
Yes. And after that, we're going to hopefully teach Sage about Pinocchio in upcoming weeks so we can get the game going on. He's going to like it. We're gonna, I promise you, Sage will love that game in the end. That's it. All right. Keep gaming. Glad about it. Blah, blah, blah. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye, people on the